Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmach Live. This is a live discussion show where we actually bring some of the great events, scientific discoveries, and also ideas, business tips and tricks regarding business. My name is Chandrakant, and my colleague.
And my name is Kanchan, and you will be enjoying this show because we'll be giving you latest updates and many more knowledge and inspiration in the program.
Great. So we are live. If you are watching us, you can actually interact with us. You can send your comments and suggestions, your questions, and your comments will be displayed live on the screen. We can read, and we can actually address you by your first name and last name. So let's begin our show, shall we, Kanchan?
Yes, sure. I think our audience may be waiting for this information and knowledge-based program.
All right. So first topic we have is about something which happened recently, way back in basically last year on May 30th. Now this is regarding the European Union, and European Union said that they agree, basically they unanimously voted that the 2/3 of oil from Russia will not be allowed into European Union. Well, I personally feel this kind of decisions are very absurd. What is your opinion, Kanchan?
I think that is truly not fair because from a very long time, Russia has been providing oil to European countries and just putting a break on that. That is, I think, putting pressure on the general public because ultimately that will give way to rise of the prices. So I think this is something a vague kind of not a prudent decision.
Well, absolutely. It looks like that, if they want to, ban complete petroleum, they should do that. They should completely say that, look, we are not in favor of buying anything from Russia because they have invaded Ukraine. But I think there is some jugglery that people have done, some smart jugglery. They have identified that, look, we have certain reserves, and considering that war will continue for 1 or 2 years, so we have certain reserves, and the reserve will actually help us survive. People will not revolt against us in their respective countries, and what we need is only 1/3 of the oil for petroleum. And so it is basically some sort of a politics, isn't it?
Yes, definitely, because sometimes politics really make things worse rather than good. Most of the time we praise our leaders, but sometimes politics is on the play, and we have to give prizes as a general public.
Absolutely. So I think this is an important incident which happened last year on May 30th. Let's discuss about the next event. I think let's move on to the next one, unless you have anything special to add, Kanchan.
No, I would like to go and move to the next topic.
All right, friends. So I think important thing is Ukraine and Russia war, or the European theater war, is on everybody's mind. So we will like to know from the viewers what is their opinion about this decision of EU. Is it hypocritic? Is it genuine? Or does it mean anything for Russia or for European Union? I would like to know from you. All right, let's move to the next one. And this is about the AI. Latest information is, as of today, OpenAI or the Chat GPT is now available as an app in your mobile across all platforms, Android as well as iPhones. What do you think about this, Kanchan?
I think it is kind of going ahead, and that is making us a lot of competition in the market when we are talking about about many other applications which are equally good. But now OpenAI has created a benchmark, and I think that is where there's a lot of competition, as well as I think there's a lot of facility to the end user also.
Well, now it is available as an app because OpenAI or ChatGPT or Bard, these are all text-based AI systems which runs on certain algorithm, and usually these are integrated with their web browser. So all these major companies like Microsoft or Google, they are integrating these AI bots with their search and they are enhancing their search. So basically the whole idea about chat gpt is that you should be able to do some smart search from now on. And now this is a big deal because the chat gpt now available as an app. I checked yesterday and I found that it is available on iphone and it is available on android also. I checked yesterday, so you can download that, and whoever is having an app on the mobile, they will be able to do couple of things. One is they can actually write their essays, they can solve equations, they can probably write codes. So this is something which is like intelligence or ai being made available to general public, and they can do a lot of their work, isn't it? What do you think?
Yes, definitely, because that will give a kind of a helping hand when the professional provider wants to do something with the open AI. But at the same time, I have one question, because nowadays the children are also into mobile searching, and they are on PCs, and I think one part of children growing up will be missing out, like finding out things by themselves, which is the downside of the learning processes. That is what I feel, and this is making it easy for children to really go without putting their effort, as we used to put our effort to finding out things before Google actually. So that is something which is a downside. Otherwise, it is kind of a progress of mankind, progress of a professional, and it is a helping hand. But you have to decide, when we are talking about children, when and where they can use chat.
Well, a lot of people are now asking for regulations, because the chat gpt is now being launched as business as well. There are a lot of websites which are coming up which are providing paid version of ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is free anyway, so you can download it, fine tune it, and provide that as a paid service. So a lot of these new businesses are coming. So in one way it is good, because industry is growing, there are new avenues for doing business. And other way that you have pointed out, that the imagination may be lost to this AI. But what do you think about the new business avenues which are being opened up?
Definitely, it's kind of a plus, because after COVID there was a sink in the job market also. Now I think this is adding on the progressive mindset, and the people will get employment. They will get know-how. There's so many things they can do. Search engine is already there, so they can find the avenues what they're looking at.
All right, let's move to the next major event which happened today, which requires our attention, and this is regarding the WhatsApp. Now, the whole concept of WhatsApp revolves around your mobile number. You know WhatsApp, it works with your mobile number, and that was a differentiation when WhatsApp was launched many years back. It is not the first time that you have a internet chat platform. The difference between Yahoo, MSN, or any other chat platform was that using mobile number, WhatsApp actually integrated the entire chat function, which was usually available on the internet, to the mobile arena. That was a differentiation. Now, having been taken over by Facebook already has a messenger, which is an internet messenger. WhatsApp and Messenger, Facebook Messenger, has to coexist. So now they are playing with it, and they have announced that WhatsApp will be introducing, they will be moving away from the basic functionality, basic premise of how WhatsApp became so popular, and now the mobile number will be replaced by a username. So going back 20 years back, this is the latest information. I personally feel that the differentiation of WhatsApp will be lost. Would like to know your opinion, Kanchan.
Actually, yesterday we have discussed that the identity of the person is being exposed. So I think in a way it is a good implementation, but at the same time, since we have a habit of using mobile phone and WhatsApp, which is already integrated, and we have been using for a long time. Now again, relearning to use it from a user ID, I think it is a slight difference, but yes, it needs a practice. That is, I think, that is the only downside. And yes, we are able to save our privacy also. I think this is a plus point.
Well, it is not so simple, Kanchan. Let me explain. You see, what is happening here is that WhatsApp is linked to your mobile number. And because of that feature of WhatsApp, you can actually do so many things. You can actually make micro payments because WhatsApp is also integrated with the micro payments. So if you buy something, you can actually make the payment. And since the number is the primary identification for WhatsApp, it can be integrated back to back with the NPCI or the micropayment platforms in whichever country it is. So now you're moving. I mean, a couple of things have happened in the past. One is WhatsApp being available on multiple platforms without the use of a number. Earlier, if you have, because it is having only one instance of WhatsApp, since you have only one number, you can actually connect one mobile or one PC with WhatsApp. But now, a couple of months back, there was a change that without giving the number, without interfering with the mobile number, you can launch your WhatsApp on four different systems. And now they are going to very soon launch a new WhatsApp where the number may not be required. So I personally believe that we are moving away from the basic, you know, the messenger was there for last 20 years, you know. We have all used Messenger. Yahoo Messenger was there way back in 1998. So what is so different in WhatsApp? WhatsApp brought the difference to the field because now you can do messaging, internet messaging using your mobile. So if you are moving back, in my opinion, that is not right. That is my personal feeling. You are making a point from the usability point of view, but you know, this is something which is will have a long-lasting.
We have to see whether let's find out how it will impact us in our usage. So then only I think it's a good opinion, and most of the people will find out very soon.
All right, so we'll wait for WhatsApp new version to be launched. It is not yet launched. They are saying that it will be launched very soon across the world. Probably they will roll out country-wise. So we will wait and see. Let's move to the next piece of information. Now, this is very, very high-tech. This is about the robotic probes which are being developed by NASA. And now, instead of developing probes which have wheels, NASA experimenting with snake robots. What is your opinion, Kanchan?
Yeah, because I have also read this news, and now these snake robots will be doing research and findings on the planet, and I think this is a wonderful upgradation of the space search, and I think this is something which give you more applicable. In fact, you know that even a small camera was implemented when there was a search which is done on pyramid also. So that is kind of same thing which is being implemented by NASA, and I think because it's sleek, it will be sleek, it can go anywhere. So it is a good step as in my understanding.
Well, go anywhere is a keyword here, and that is exactly what is happening. So, you know, so far for last 30 years, NASA has been sending their space probes on Moon, starting with Moon, and then now on Mars. These space probes are mobile, they have wheels, but then all of these space probes have some sort of shelf life, and they have some obstacles. You know, where these space probes actually are landed are carefully chosen sites, depending on the design of the space probes, and you know, how long they can they climb the mountains. I think these are all questions. For climbing the mountains, you need legs. The wheels are not very good. You know, if you try to go up on a wheel, there is so much pressure the engine gets in your car.
Right.
So you need legs to climb. So therefore, these probes which are exploring Mars and Moon are not the ideal. Therefore, NASA is now looking at not only future missions but also exploring different kind of terrain on different heavenly bodies, because tomorrow you may go on an icy moon of Europa. Exploration may be of different kinds. So if you have a basic template of a design which works across all different terrains, then it will be not only useful outside in space but also on Earth. So therefore, NASA is experimenting with this kind of a probe, which is very flexible. It has the capability to jump from one place to other, and nothing can stop it. It has many moving parts, and it basically go like a snake. There are no wheels in this. So this is the latest probe which is being developed with, and then you have the capability to put multiple sensors, and you have a long body.
Yes.
You can put multiple sensors, so you can put more scientific equipment in this sensor. So this is the latest one which is now being developed. Your thoughts, Kanchan?
Yeah, because as I understand that there are many other animals has being incorporated in the designs of as a robot, like dogs are there, and they also follow the same kind of work identification, because it's not only the toy dog which NASA has developed, but there are many other robots which can help in the engineering, in kind of lifting a heavy weight also. And as we were discussing yesterday also, these things, these robots has to be there for the exploration, not only on Earth but outer space also. So this is a really wonderful step, and I think we will gain more knowledge after using these robots on the different surface of the planets.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is latest stuff, friends, and we will keep tracking this new development, and as and when new equipment is provided to us in public arena, we will actually analyze it. We'll bring information about that in our program. All right, let's move to the next one. Now this is about Elon Musk, SpaceX company, and his rocket called Falcon 9. Now today is May 30th, and in the year 2020, Falcon 9 became the first privately funded, privately owned, completely private enterprise to launch a space vehicle which docked with the space station. So SpaceX became the first company to launch a privately funded, privately owned space station company, which had the capability to dock with the space station.
So actually, I have seen the footage on the television, and I was really mesmerized, and I was proud that now the mankind has taken a leap, because the kind of design it's been implemented by SpaceX, they are unique and out of the world, because if you know that they can take off straight in the sky, and they can land also straight, like earlier NASA rockets, they has to either go on land on the surface of the sea, or there's many other avenues. But now this is something really good and really classy, and I think this is the way to go. And I guess SpaceX is doing tremendous work in space exploration and in space science.
Yes, definitely. In fact, they are coming out with these new designs, which makes a lot of sense. And reusability is the key here, and that reduces the cost of space. You see, to launch anything in space costs a lot of money, and therefore the moon program in way back in 70s was cut down by the federal government. Because they didn't have money. A lot of people got employed. Employment was also there, but people, that money is being spent but not generating any revenue. So the government could not sustain it. Therefore, reusability become very important, and SpaceX provides reusability. In fact, Elon Musk is talking about reducing cost almost like 10 times. And Falcon 9 was the first. Now they are working on Falcon Heavy. That's the latest one, which is going to go to Mars. So we are all waiting for that kind of a launch being done by Elon Musk. All right, let's move to the next information, and that is regarding Mr. Modi. I am very proud to bring this information to you today. In 2019, Mr. Modi was elected the Prime Minister of India for the second term. Before I give more information, Kanchan, what do you feel? What is your feeling about this?
Well, I think he's a leader of masses, and that is why that is a unique quality Mr. Narendra Modi is having. That is why recently when he visited Australia, even the world leaders were saying and kind of telling him that you are the boss. And I think that quality is there. And when we talk about 2019 election, he was re-elected for the second time. I think the kind of trust he has shown to his people, the kind of love people shown to him, that is ultimately resulted. Even today also, people have a lot of love and respect for Mr.
Well, we know that he's a great leader. He is loved by many. But this election has a special significance in their global affairs. And that is why we have included this today. 2019 India general election was the world largest election ever held. Nearly 600, more than 600 million people voted, electorate voted for a government of India. Out of 600 million people, nearly 300 million people voted in favor of Mr. Modi's party. And now 300 million, just imagine this number. It is equal to the population of United States, the entire population of United States voting for one man. And it is twice the population of European Union. So 300 million people voting for one man. That is why this election is so significant, and that is why people, you mentioned about foreign dignitaries praising Modi. I think the sheer number of votes behind Mr. Modi makes him one like a global leader. What is your opinion?
Yes, he is. He has proven time and again that he is a global leader. He talks about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. He talks about providing this COVID medicine, not only to Indians but also to outside. So that shows his spirits. It shows his view. And I think we have a greatest leader currently, and so we should be proud of it.
Yes, definitely. And when I was actually doing research on this subject, I was like very surprised. Even though I'm an Indian, I was surprised that even general election in India has such a remarkable impact on the global affairs. So that is why 2019 general election was a milestone. We don't know what is going to happen in 2024. I'm sure 2024 election may beat the target set by 2019. Now we have viewer Karen McNeil. Welcome to the show, Karen. This is a talk show, and good morning. Which country you are from? I think it's evening for you, isn't it, Karen?
And Karen, do you have any questions regarding our discussion? Please go ahead and put forward your questions. So moving forward, Chandra.
All right, let's move to the next story while Karen listens to us and she has a reaction. Let's talk about the next one. Now, this is about America and a famous stuntman, Evel Knievel. I'm not sure if people in India know him too well. People, enthusiastic people like me and you probably know him, but he is like a cult figure in America. And today, in the year 1967, he actually, on May 30th, he jumped on a motorcycle, performing that stunt. Over 16 automobiles stacked one after the other. One of the longest jump, and he was not scared. That is why his he was nicknamed as Evel Knievel. Do you remember Evel Knievel?
Well, I have seen these kind of stunts so many times, and I think he was a unique person, and he started this action, and I've seen it, especially in many movies. They are copying his action in the real action in a real action, and that is something which it's quite interesting because that gives rise to your imagination, and you really feel excited. So I think he has created a benchmark in whatever he is doing.
Absolutely. In fact, there is no CGI, there is no
Right.
green screen, there is nothing like that. He is a real He's a real show, real hero, real stuntman. Yeah, absolutely. And today is a remarkable day for all the people who follow Evel Knievel 1967 when he performed his historic jump. Let's move on to the next one. And Karen is saying that she watched him do that. Oh my.
Really? Okay. That is, I think you are so lucky that you have watched this special person live. So I think that makes a lot of difference. You must be having a lot of pictures of that event also. Do share sometime.
Well, Karen, I think you are lucky because you must have been quite young then. We were not even born when this story emerged. But you must have been very young at that time, and you must have taken some pictures, maybe his autograph. Do share with us, Karen, whenever you get an opportunity. All right, let's move to the next one. Now, this information is about the park specially meant for employees. You see, Hershey's is a famous confectionery company known across the world. They actually make different kind of candies and toffees. If you're in America, you call them candy. If you're in UK, you call them toffees. In India also, we call them both candies and toffees because both words are prevalent in India. However, Hershey's this information is about taking care of the employees. So in 1906, they actually created a complete theme park only for their employees. And today, we talk about employee friendliness. We like to join the company which is the most employee friendly. However, this is not a new concept. Way back in 1906, a chocolate company or a toffee company or a candy company coming out with a theme park for their employees and their families. What do you think about this, Kanchan?
I think companies like Hershey, they have understood the main aspect of their company progress is that these employees are asset, and keep them in a good faith is actually entirely very, very important, and that is why this is a kind of a very big step for this company to do. Now, there are many companies who look after their employees well. In India, we always say Tata company, the group of companies that look after their employees very well, and that is why everybody wants to go and join Tata for obvious reasons, and something that is being landmark. It's the benchmark which is created by this chocolate company.
Absolutely. I was, surprised that people were talking about employee friendliness. You bring your family to the office to work and let them enjoy in the theme park. What a great idea. In 1906, I'm sure, India was not free. We were struggling. We were actually fighting our struggle for independence back then. But this is not a new concept. Being employee friendly is an old concept. Now, before we move on to the next story, we have a couple of comments. Karen is saying, I'm old now. Karen, nobody gets old. In my opinion, everybody is young at heart, always.
It's only numbers, Karen, so cheer up. And there is the Chenu is also saying hi. Do you have any questions? Please put forward.
All right, let's move to the next item, and this is again about America. Brooklyn Bridge. Most of the Indians would have gone and walked on this bridge. I personally done that, and Indians are the most traveled people. Indians and the people from America, USA especially, are the most traveled people across the world. And so this bridge, most of us have seen, walked over it. But this got inaugurated in the year 1883 on May 30th. And that is why we're talking about Brooklyn Bridge. Before I give you more information, Kanchan, what is the feeling that you're getting?
Well, this massive bridge gives a massive feeling. And I always mesmerize with architectural structure. And whenever I see these big buildings which are like in Dubai, we see buildings. In Malaysia, we see buildings, and I always feel proud to associate with these kind of buildings, because this give a kind of strength and feeling that if you decide to make a big product on the surface of Earth, there's nothing going bad, because once you have decided, and something similar feeling I'm getting by watching this picture.
Well, this looks old because obviously you see some stone structure, but this is a marvel. I'll tell you exactly why, and especially people who are watching us live, they can also add. And Karen is saying that she doesn't find friendly companies, but there are friendly companies. Karen, I think that is a discussion for another day. But let's talk about Brooklyn Bridge. You see, the bridge is connecting Manhattan with the New York State and or New Jersey, and Manhattan is an island, and before that, there is a Hudson river which flows. It's like an ocean basically, and before this bridge, they had to use ferries to cross between to go to Manhattan and come back. When this bridge got opened, it was a big challenge because people did not have the technology, and this kind of large bridge was being constructed for the first time. In fact, they had to dig below the water, under the water. So how do you basically take these labor in the confinement of in a safe working environment under the ocean? That was a big challenge, and therefore they developed wooden structures. They developed a lot of hydraulics to provide fresh air for the workers, but the conditions were very, very bad. A lot of people died constructing this bridge, and there was a new disease which was named as caisson, because the structure which was built under the ocean was called caisson, and people used to get a lot of these psychological issues or also physical issues because of the bad air and too many people digging, because they didn't have this power hammers in those days. So under such difficult conditions, this bridge was constructed. Today, there are many bridges across this channel, but this was the first one of the big, large. I would say in 1883, it was really a mega project.
Well, I feel that it was inaugurated in 1883, and it was quite a I can say it's a kind of antiquity when when you are discussing how terrible the conditions were for the workers. But if you take from the history, the Suez Canal also, or the Panama Canal, they all undergone the same kind of conditions for workers. But now things have changed, and I think the way things progress, the way technology progress, the way the employees benefit also progress. And we were in the other story we were discussing about employees benefit. So now things are okay, but yes, in 1883, I think that is a phase when things are emerging, and I think this is a result of when human strength, human life has pushed to their strength to the maximum and created such a wonderful building, such a wonderful village.
Absolutely. In fact, I also want to add one more information that on May 30th, the bad luck did not end. This bridge was opened, and there were a lot of fireworks and fun and fair, and it was a remarkable thing. Now people don't have to go through ferry; they can actually walk across to Manhattan, and which was a prominent business location back then as well. But there was a rumor spread during the celebration that the bridge is going to collapse, because nobody believed such a large bridge could be constructed and it would be stable. So there was a rumor during the celebration that bridge is now collapsing, and because of that there was a stampede and 12 people lost their lives. So bad news, but this bridge is still standing tall and carrying millions of people across to Manhattan every day.
Yeah, so I think that it's serving its purpose.
Absolutely. And we have another viewer, Rani. She's saying, "Hi, Rani. Welcome to the show." Let's move to the next information that we want to share, and this is about Columbus. You want to?
So actually, Columbus started his third voyage to America in 1498 on this day, that is today, and he has taken 6 ships. 3 ships were loaded with the amenities, and rest of the 3 ships were used as exploration. And in this trip only he reached to Trinidad, which is now an Indian domain dominated population where we look all Indians. There are many other small places he has identified, discovered in this third voyage which he has undertook and which started today. So your points, if you want to add something.
Well, the Columbus, created so many wrong things, in my opinion. There was a race among European to find India because, somebody said that, look, I will not sell you pepper, the black color, the chili or pepper that we have. Somebody will not sell you pepper. So it was so important for kings and queens in those days. They were willing to fund their good money, put the money behind people like Vasco da Gama and Columbus, and tell them, look, go find India. And Vasco da Gama had a head start because he followed the usual, tested, tried method, going next to Africa. So Columbus wanted to beat him. He said, okay, now since Earth is round, let me travel the other way, and I'll find India. So that was the whole thing, and that he actually believed all his life that he had actually found India. In fact, when he saw people, he called them, and they were not, because understanding in Europe was that Indians were dark, and none of us are dark anyway. But that is what in those days they used to think, that Indians are dark and dark skinned. So when he saw Indians which were not dark, or Native Americans who were not dark, he called them Red Indians. There is, he never reached India, but I think that is one of the things that he called. And then you mentioned Trinidad and Tobago. The funny thing is that Columbus never reached the mainland in America. He was stuck between Bahamas and some of these islands, and eventually he landed on the mainland of Americas, but it is in South America. So he never reached North America throughout his life.
Actually, there was also confusion, and he wanted to find out Japan and China also, and he had some dreams that he had already done that. And at the same time, because his mission was to offer the Silk Route as well as the Eastern Maritime ways to Queen of Spain at that point of time. But what happened, it was already blocked by the crown at that point, so he was not able to really offer as a gift to the monarchy of Spain. And that is also one of the confusion which has to be cleared.
Absolutely. In fact, he was a Portuguese person, and his voyages were funded by Spain, and that is why most of the South America, you see the Spanish influence, where later on, after Columbus, all the conquistadors, basically whenever they landed in any of these countries and colonized South America, they claimed it for the Spanish monarch. So Columbus started, obviously he was a brave man. There's no doubt about it. But some of the things, based on the knowledge of the day or the ideologies of the day or the funding partner who was funding them, most of the things were driven, I think. So he is a brave man. He is definitely, I think we have to give his dues. He found Americas. And the latest information, I don't know whether you know that America was even discovered almost 2000 years before Columbus by the Vikings. But that is a story for another day.
Yeah, actually, I also want to just add one information that once there's in the third voyage, after some time, when he established the New England in American soil, and after 1 year of his death, this New England was converted into a new name by the name of America. So that is also one thing which I just wanted to add in this discussion.
Well, there was another sailor after Columbus. His name was Amerigo Vespucci. So America was named after his name. All right, let's move on to the next story that we want to cover today. The Joan of Arc.
The Joan of Arc is a wonderful name, a wonderful personality from the past, because she was a military leader from the France, and she fought with Britain. And the whole aim of Joan of Arc was that she didn't want the supremacy of British on France, and that is why she fought. She became a military leader, and she also won some area, and that is why she is the instrumental in the coronation of one of the king at that point of time. So this is a contribution which is done because she is the first feminist. She is somebody who was even today discussed in all cultural event, and she gave her life just maybe at the age of 90. And that is quite unfortunate, because today also in theatre, in storytelling, and all cultural aspect, we discuss Joan of Arc, who was the military leader of France. And this makes things very, very kind of, as a female, I have a lot of respect for this wonderful lady. And she was eventually was arrested by Britain on the charge of treason. She was burned alive, and at the place of Normandy, which is current Normandy, and that place comes at that point of time under British rule. So this is a small story, and this happened today on 1431 May 30th. So this is something I wanted to share, and somebody who doesn't know the story of Joan of Arc is worth reading and worth praising, that kind of work she has done from her country, France.
Absolutely. In fact, we tend to forget the heroes, and Joan of Arc is definitely a French hero. And there was 100-year war going on between England and France, and the area. Well, there is a lot of background to it. There was agreement between Scotland and England, so there was nobody to fight. So they were not finding any money to flow into England. So they said the English army, Edward, he felt that let me invade France and let me there will be a cause. There could be nationalistic cause, there could be a cause related to holding on to his seat, etc., etc. So they invaded, and this land which is now called Brittany was acquired during the 100-year war. And during these battles, Joan of Arc actually stood against the British army. By this time, British army or the UK or English army had become very powerful, and this place is quite far from Paris. So Joan of Arc basically they actually confronted the British army and also defeated at the age of 19. So she was a woman. Back in the days, they felt that women cannot do anything, first of all. And second, how can you defeat such a formidable army, English army, and you're just a kid, 19-year-old? So British actually captured her, made her prisoner of war, and they did not know what to do with her, because obviously she had a great mind. She was a strategist. She could plan deployment of troops, which is the most difficult task. I mean, deployment of army even today is the very difficult task. So she could do that back in the days. She could defeat the British, and but then subsequently the garrison regathered and defeated Joan of Arc, because obviously she didn't have the big army, but she had a strategic mind. So what the English did is that they held a court in Normandy, and they charged her on the ground that she is wearing men clothes.
Correct. And it was like blasphemy at that point of time, and it's quite unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah, and on this charge, because she is dressed up like men, she was burned at the stake. So at the age of 19, she was sort of murdered. I would say this is a murder. even though you have a sham of a court, which was done by the English army back in the days. All right. She is a national hero of France, and France has designated her and elevated her to the level of sainthood. So she is recognized as a saint in the French culture today.
Yes, and I think this is a story which should be told again and again to the children, and the kind of bravery she has shown, the kind of commitment towards her nation she has shown should be discussed, and it's a great personality of the world. So it is it's important to discuss today at least about Joan of Arc.
All right, let's talk about the next story. This is from the current time frame, May 30th. Though Dharmesh Shah, he is a co-founder of HubSpot. Many of us who are in business knows Dharmesh Shah. We have seen his articles, we have seen his interviews, we have seen his pictures. He is the co-founder of HubSpot, one of the famous e-commerce platform. But many people did not know that he also owned a domain called chat.com. You know, just owned a domain. And I mean, he must have acquired it many years back with the intention that he will do something in that. But he never used that domain, chat.com. But he owned it. And he has recently, few days back, sold that domain to unknown person for $10 million US. Can you imagine? Without a website, just a domain being sold for $10 million US.
Well, I had, as you know, Chandra, we have our domains, and there are many domains. We buy it and then we leave it like this. And I think Dharmesh Shah has become lucky, and that is why he is able to sold a chat domain itself on a high price to unknown entity. That is perfectly fine. I think this is actually giving me an idea that I can buy and keep it for some time. Let's see what happens in the future.
Well, you need to keep paying the fee for domain, holding that domain.
Yeah, that is there, but ultimately, if you are lucky enough, like Dharmesh Shah, you will recover all of it.
Well, so he is one of the prominent business based in Silicon Valley in the US, and he also he was in the news for this particular thing because $10 million US for just holding the domain, not running any business on chat.com, and whoever has bought it obviously has a big need. That is why that person has paid $10 million US to Dharmesh Shah. Interesting thing is Dharmesh Shah has donated $250,000 to Khan Academy, which is an academy running on YouTube platform. So YouTubers, you should be happy. Some fine day if your channel is doing a lot of philanthropic work like Khan Academy in India, you may get some donation from the big business people. What do you think?
Yes, actually, charity and business goes hand in hand in modern current time. And if something is done by Dharmesh Shah, I think it is good. And I think there are many more companies who are investing in education sector, investing in a YouTube platform for good. Actually, we are also doing so much good and knowledgeable program for on YouTube platform.
Great. Let's move on to the next one. I'm not sure if we have anything. Okay, so we have exhausted all the items that we plan to share with our audience. Karen, please, now you can sleep. Our program is going to end now. And, thanks for coming so early. In your time, 3 a.m. is too early. Thanks for joining us early. So, friends, thanks for watching, and we will catch you again tomorrow with something more interesting.
So be happy and keep doing good work. All the best. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.